Lou, I've tried everything. It's not working. I'm at my wit's end. I've been looking online for help. I don't know what to do, but I've tried.
Well, is there anything I can do?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm at my wit's end. I keep trying over and over and over again. It's been like 4 weeks. It's not working.
This is not like you to admit failure.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm out of answers.
Well, let me try in some way to help you here.
All right, here.
All right.
Oh, wow. You make everything look so easy.
I try.
Thanks, Lou.
You're welcome.
Pickles. Love pickles.
We don't trust that he's going to do what he says he's going to do.
If kids right now aren't confused, it's beyond me.
You watch a 30-second clip, you know there's something wrong with him.
It gives me a bad memory of a kidney stone I passed in the fall of 1998.
I can't stand to even watch it for a second. It's just so depressing.
Welcome to our special, July 5th special. I'm Greg Gutfeld. Thank you for spending time with me rather than your family. So yesterday was July 4th. Everyone loves that day. It's our country's birthday. So among July, it's the star of the family. July 4th is Paris Hilton. July 5th is Nikki. The 4th is Sylvester Stallone. The 5th is Frank. The 4th is Dennis Quaid. The 5th, Randy. But let's not forget, Randy is way more fun. So I say it's high time to embrace the 5th. Here's why. On July 5th, Hormel gave us delicious Spam back in 1937. Laugh all you want, but it fed millions, and it still tastes better than that overpriced misery mulch from Chipotle. In 1946, on July 5th, bikinis went on sale in Paris, France, a trick played on women to get them to walk around in public in their underwear. It worked. A sucker was born every minute, but on this day, so was P.T. Barnum in 1810. He created the circus, which gave work to bearded women everywhere. Bearded women are hot. In 1996, Dolly the sheep became the first mammal cloned from an adult cell. She died 7 years later, saving her from a loveless marriage to Andy Dick. Elvis recorded his first single in Memphis in 1954. That was 60 years ago, and that was our version of rap back then. Now it's just what white people listen to at car shows. But really, July 5th was the birth of the news. For in 1950, Hugh Anthony Craig was born, a.k.a. Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis and the news. Smirk if you must, but no one delivered current events better. In sum, July 5th matters because July 4th doesn't. To many, the United States is the source of so many ills that many wish we were never born at all. So it's necessary to do It's a Wonderful Life with our nation and ask, what would the world be like without us? Think about that world. No electricity, no Apple, no automobiles or airplanes, no vaccines, no revolutions in farming, no brave response to Hitler or Japan, no end to the Cold War, no treatments for AIDS, no help for the starving or for those with Ebola. You name it, the only thing who delivers salvation against evil is us. If we weren't born on July 4th, my guess is this planet would be a gruesome orb of suffering that would make the Game of Thrones look like seventh heaven. So I thank God for July 4th, because without it, there would be no July 5th.
Period.
That was moving. Well, here are my guests. She gets off more killers than cheap pornography. It's criminal defense attorney Remi Spencer, and he's as smart as he is smarmy. It's Daily Beast columnist Michael Moynihan, and she's only here because no one asked her to go away for the weekend. It's Joanne Nosuchinsky. Look how sad she is. Michael, I'm going to go to you first. July 4th.
Yeah.
Why do we bother if we don't even care about our country?
I think, well, a couple things about this. I think that you might be being influenced by your surroundings.
Really?
You live in New York City. Mm-hmm. I live in New York City. We get a very heavy dose of people who would probably rather live in Havana.
That is...
I don't think that's actually true if you go across the country. I don't travel across the country. I don't go anywhere outside of the city. Mm-hmm. But I hear that outside of the city, people actually do appreciate the things, as you listed, that litany of things that America has given the world.
So you say basically I kind of live in a bubble.
It might, I think you could probably call it a bubble.
Yeah, I live in a hate bubble.
Yeah, a hate, but and it's really funny that both of us live here, because we're in a bubble of people. It's like the Thunderdome, because we're we're in a bubble where people hate us.
Yes, I'm not liked by anybody.
Yeah.
I'm heckled on the way to work.
Are you heckled on the way to work?
Well,
have you ever
no.
been heckled in New York City?
No, I've never. Nobody even recognizes
Yeah, exactly.
me. The great thing about living in New York and working for Fox News is nobody recognizes me. I can go anywhere. I take the subway, Remi. Me, a wealthy TV personality. I will take the subway with the little people.
No, impressive.
Yes, you know.
And humble.
Do people actually see the 4th of July as meaningful? Again, I see Halloween as being more celebrated, at least where I live, if you know what I mean, America.
Well, that's a little bit sad, don't you think? That's a little bit sad and depressing.
Yes.
I love the 4th of July. I love fireworks. It's not a politically charged holiday. Everybody can come together and enjoy. In fact, I threw a little party at my house, and we had little sparklers. It's a great day. I love it. And
I was not invited. No.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
Well, you had a great time?
Great time.
Joanne, I just want to point out that this July 5th special might seem a little weird because we recorded it in October 2011 because we wanted to have the time off. Do you think I'm overstating the lack of appreciation for this country?
No, not at all. I mean, well, what's not to love and appreciate about hot dogs and beer and pool parties, right? That's what the holiday is about.
Exactly.
Right.
That's all it's
It is
about.
actually the one day of the year that I allow myself to eat a hot dog. They actually repulse me otherwise.
Yeah,
I can only have the small cocktail wieners. But
Wow. This says a lot about you, I believe. And
I like to live dangerously for my country on July 4th.
Yes. And you prefer the small weenie. You know who appreciates America? The people in the Republic of Congo. They've been at war forever. There's no stability whatsoever, no faith in their government. And you know who they look up to? Jack Bauer from 24. I'm not kidding. They have murals of Kiefer Sutherland on the walls over there. And this is how they're fighting crime, by watching the show and then asking, what would Jack Bauer do? And then they thwart robberies and stop bombings in the market square. I'm assuming this is actually true. I got it from some source. So does it bother you that the Republic of Congo appreciates our exceptionalism more than we do, Michael?
It is. I do trust this because I read this story yesterday, and it was written by a friend of mine who's a very reliable journalist. I don't know if this is helping them very much because at the end of the day, you do have to keep in mind when you're reading this story that it's in the Congo. So, I mean, if they're thwarting wars and robberies, I haven't heard about this because it's kind of embroiled in that for the last, I don't know, like 7,000 years. And of course, the Belgians are responsible for this because they were the ones that colonized and really ruined the Congo.
Oh, okay.
Just for the record.
Well, the Belgians have done nothing good.
Media matters. The bongo. You interpret that how you want.
I was referring to the alt rock band from the 80s.
Oh, from the 80s, the bongos. That's
yes,
right.
Numbers with wings.
Yeah, the other thing about this is that there's so many countries that you go to there, you see murals of weird American things, and we're having this roiling debate now about the Confederate flag.
Right.
If you go to Belfast, the Protestants in Belfast fly the Confederate flag all over the city.
Really?
Yeah, they do indeed. And I'm wondering, you see all these sort of icons of Americanism painted and all this.
Yeah.
The only place you don't see this places like Venezuela and Cuba.
Yeah, and it's funny, in here, Remi, we have icons like Che Guevara, which are just, nobody knows how awful this person is. But yet we have Jack Bauer, who's actually a great symbol for America because he gets stuff done.
I don't know about you, but when I first read this story, I actually thought it was somewhat of a joke. I continued reading.
Typical.
I realized that it was serious, and it kind of reminded me of my childhood. They have posters of Jack Bauer on the wall, sort of like I had posters of Andre Agassi and Michael J. Fox on my bedroom wall. And they idolize a TV character in an effort to make their country safe. It's a little bit scary, and thank goodness that our law enforcement don't practice in this manner, that we have process, we have laws. I think we think first and then act, and there maybe it's a little bit of the opposite.
I couldn't disagree with you more. I think if we emulated Jack Bauer, Joanne, the world would be a better place.
Oh, definitely. For sure. Stuff would get done around this country.
Yes.
We need more of that. What's fascinating is the reason why everyone is so obsessed with him is because this TV show shows at the bars when soccer isn't playing, apparently.
Yes.
Thank God it's this show and not Breaking Bad or Golden Girls. Am I right?
No, you're not right. Golden Girls is an American classic.
Oh, no, it's lovely. They
It
would
is.
just get nothing done.
Yeah, it would get nothing
Do you
done.
think that if they had Family Ties on, that they would be like you when you were growing up? Because, you know, when I was growing up, I did have an enormous poster of Meredith Baxter Burney on my wall, and it inspired me, and it has continued to inspire me.
I just had a dolphin jumping over a rainbow.
Through a hoop and then over a rainbow.
Exactly.
Great poster.
A violent dolphin. Nothing's more American, however, than exercising your rights to free speech, to bear arms, and, of course, your right to sue. When someone tramples on your rights, you sue, or even if they just hurt your feelings. That's what one guy in Virginia, a state, did. He goes in for a colonoscopy, and before he went under, he hit record on his phone because he wanted to be able to play back the doctor's instructions for him when he wasn't so woozy. This sounds like a setup. Listen to a part of what was recorded while he was under anesthesia and having the procedure.
And really, after 5 minutes of talking to you in pre-op, I wanted to punch you in the face and man you up a little bit. So just make sure you're gowned up. You don't want you to accidentally rub up against it. Some syphilis on your arm or something. It's probably tuberculosis in the penis, so I think you'll be all right.
Is there any nice person named Tiffany left? Long story short, the guy sues for defamation and medical malpractice, and a jury awards him $500,000 for hurt feelings. Remi, you're either the problem or the solution because you are a lawyer. Is this defamation if it was in a room and it never would have gotten out?
Actually, the fact that it was in a room and it didn't become widely disseminated is really not all that relevant to the legal analysis. The question is, did anybody in that room actually believe that what the doctor was saying was a fact? And I think we can all agree the answer is no. It was clearly a joke. I think this jury ruled based on emotion, not based on the law. I think every one of the jurors was wondering, has this ever happened to me? Has something like this ever happened when I was under anesthesia?
They do it to me when I'm not under. I'll be just sitting there for a normal checkup and they'll make fun of my body.
In the street, they do that too.
They do, they do.
Unbelievable.
I'm body shamed wherever I go. I have a theory, Michael, that this was a total setup. A, because the patient came in and talked about a rash on his privates, and then he turns on a recorder. If that's not a setup to encourage somebody to make fun of your stuff,
I mean, I have talked about rashes in my privates and turn on a recorder in totally different contexts, and nobody's paid me $500,000 for it. The idea, by the way, is you turn your phone on. This has actually happened to me where they've given me instructions. I don't remember any of them. You turn it on at the end. Not even in the beginning. It's like an hour and a half of tape you have to like scroll through to get to the instructions at the end. But, you know, again, I don't know anything about the law. So let me just talk from the moral perspective here. Tiffany is doing some pretty good material there. This is like Dangerfield stuff. It's like, hey, you know, it's infected, you know? I mean, come on. Like, I would do the exact same thing. So if the jury is thinking, has this happened to me when I was under? I'm thinking if I was in the same position, I would be just making better jokes.
You know, I will say this, okay? Joanne, it doesn't really bother me if my anesthesiologist is a jerk. I would rather have the best anesthesiologist in the state. What if you had a really polite one but kills you?
However, they also get paid so much money, these anesthesiologists. And as the patient, you were in the most vulnerable position being under. And it wasn't just her joking. She talked about falsifying his medical records, saying he had hemorrhoids when he didn't. So it goes just beyond joking.
Yeah, and hemorrhoids, you know, that's a sensitive illness to have.
Did she do
What?
She did that?
Yeah, she did that. You should have read the story, Michael.
No, but I thought, I didn't. No, I didn't read the story.
As a criminal defense attorney, I want to respond to your statement earlier. I don't sue people, I defend people. And I have defended anesthesiologists, and some in the criminal legal profession would say that they are legalized drug dealers.
Really?
So the way that she was talking on this recording made me wonder if maybe she's tried out some of her drugs that she's giving to her patients.
You could be sued for that, I believe. By the way, my take home out of this is I hate the concept of bedside manner. I'd rather have a doctor that focuses on the expertise of his job than rather how nice he is to you. So I don't care what they say about me as long as I'm alive at the end of the procedure and they didn't take something out or leave something in, because that's happened before. ER, they'll always leave something in there. Liberal panel, I want to go to you about your original monologue here. I have a feeling that you hate the Fourth.
As a progressive inanimate American, I was pretty much offended by everything you just said. First of all, this is Fox News. Every day is July 4th.
True.
Secondly, July 4th is just America telling America that America is pretty. America, you're pretty. I also resent the fact that you think that I wouldn't celebrate July 4th.
Why? Why would you celebrate it? You hate this country.
I do not hate it. I celebrate the July 4th like most liberals. I drink some kombucha, I microwave some vegan chicken nuggets, and I read Howard Zinn.
Wow, that's beautiful. What a great way to spend an afternoon. You make me sick.
You disgust me.
Well, I guess we're at odds then. Let's check in with Katherine Timpf, our op-ed, to see if she's got anything for us.
Yeah, you said that without America, there'd be no electricity and no automobiles.
Yes.
And I would just like to thank you for finally acknowledging that climate change is all Americans' fault.
Yes, I walked into that one.
Yes, there would be no pollution without Americans. There would be no problems at all.
Well, actually, before there were cars, there were horses, and there was a lot of poop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you ban horses too. That's
Yes.
a good idea.
Excellent, excellent. Anything else?
No, I'm just really proud of you for finally admitting it on Fox News that you know that we're to blame for climate change and we need very strict EPA regulation.
You had to go a long way to get me to do that, young lady. All right, before we go, a quick update on a story that we've been following. Earlier this year, President Obama read a book to some children at the White House Easter egg roll. Everything was fine until a single bumblebee descended on the group. The children screamed, but they were fine. But I couldn't help but wonder, what about the bee? So I sent a reporter to find out. Here's our latest installment of Where Are They Now?
Oh, no, it's a bee. That's okay, guys. Bees are good.
That was in 2015. But not everyone found it as funny as the president, especially the bee, Bruce Yellowjacket, and his queen, Lady Bumbleton. Thanks to the president's declaration that, quote, bees are good, they won't sting you, Yellowjacket failed in his mission to scare the children off the White House lawn. Bumbleton kicked him out of the hive, and soon he developed a crippling addiction to Jack Daniel's honey liqueur. Unable to fly in a straight line and nearing starvation, he decided to attend a holistic wellness retreat run by Sting. The move saved his life and his career. There, Yellowjacket met the bee from the Blind Melon video, who'd grown up to become Hollywood's premier bee talent agent. Weeks later, Bruce was cast opposite Buzz Aldrin in the upcoming sitcom about cops patrolling Sydney's world-famous Bondi Beach. The former astronaut can hardly contain his excitement about the aptly titled Hot Buzz.
I think if you get a chance to see it, you'd really enjoy the Australian humor.
This has been a Where Are They Now?
Congratulations to Buzz Aldrin on his new project. It's time to take a break. More stuff when we come back. If you leave now, I'll send all of you Michael Moynihan's fingernails. Dear American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, you've been very, very bad. When both my parents died, they had cancer. Yet, like an idiot, I smoked. I knew it was a mistake, but I did it anyway. I tried to quit. I even tried hypnosis, but that's for magic routines at casinos. And I tried gums and patches, but that just made me want to find the real thing. Then I found e-cigarettes. They helped me quit the real cigarettes. With e-cigarettes, I could go through all the motions of smoking without inhaling all the cancer-causing things like tar. I went from smoking 10 cigarettes a day to 10 cigs a year. I realized that if e-cigs were around maybe 50 years ago, people I love would be alive today. Which is why I'm disappointed in you, American Cancer Society Action Network, because you're hailing a new law that will limit e-cigs in all places that do not allow smoking. You're conflating a device with its evil arch enemy. And that's weird, controlling something that rids actual smoking and then saying it's as bad as smoking when it's clearly not. It's potentially a dramatic advancement in fighting cancer, and a cancer organization is now demonizing it without hesitation. It's like firemen coming out against water or kittens coming out against yarn. Now, I invited you to come on my show to explain this to me, and you refused. Why? Either you're cowards or knew you didn't have the facts, or perhaps both. Either way, I have to go now and debate a real doctor who actually had the guts to show up. Sincerely, Greg. Nobody writes letters anymore. Joining me now is the very brave Dr. Nina Radcliff, a practicing physician, much like me. First off, I have to ask you, Dr. Radcliff, you've written some from fairly critical pieces on e-cigs. Why do you hate them? That's like hating Santa Claus and babies and unicorns. They've done so much good.
Well, no, safer does not mean safe, and less dangerous does not mean not dangerous. And what I tell my patients when they ask me about it, would they rather jump off of a 100-foot building or a 50-foot building? The 50-foot one would probably be a little bit safer, but it's still not a good idea in the first place.
Well, if I used your metaphor, it'd be more like jumping off a 100-foot building and a 1-foot building. Because there's no toxins. There's no toxins. There's no tar. And also, in terms of secondhand smoke, there's no combustible stuff coming out of the vapor, so you're not hurting anybody.
Well, no, disagree. And I do agree with you. There are less chemicals. There are less toxins. But again, it doesn't mean that it's safe for you to use. And first of all, nicotine.
How do you know that?
We do know that because studies have shown.
What studies?
Now, lots of studies.
Be specific, Dr. Radcliff.
Well, first of all, it does contain nicotine, and we do know that nicotine is highly addictive, and it's dangerous.
But wait a second. Okay, exercise is addictive, caffeine's addictive. That doesn't make it deadly. There are no cardiovascular risks from nicotine.
There is absolutely cardiovascular risk. First of all, it raises your heart rate by 5 to 10 beats per every minute. And if you're using it,
does exercise.
Yes, but it's in a different form or fashion. This is a chemical way of doing it. It increases your blood pressure, and it causes vasoconstriction of your heart vessels. So somebody who already has plaques or atherosclerosis, now you're constricting and you're getting less oxygen to your heart. So I disagree with you completely. And we do have to sit there and say that nicotine is not a liquid by nature. What it is it's a solid. In order to be liquid, it has to be in a solvent. What they're using is propylene glycol, and that's used in antiperspirants. They're used in soap. It's used in cosmetics.
So they're safe.
No,
they're used in soap. They're obviously safe.
Putting it on your body versus inhaling into your lungs.
But it's a
very different.
But I mean, you could say that about anything. You could say that certain things are toxic, but they're not toxic at certain levels. I get the feeling that the negativity towards e-cigarettes is a feeling because it looks like smoking. It's like it's like there's this idea that it's confusing people when you see somebody having an e-cigarette. It looks like a real cigarette, and that upsets them. It's like being mad at somebody drinking bottled water because it looks like vodka.
Well, the problem is that the popularity is growing faster than the medical knowledge is coming in. What we do know is that the secondhand smoke that is out there contains chromium. That's not even in regular traditional cigarettes. It contains.
You're kidding me. There's no research that shows secondhand smoke damage from an e-cig.
It absolutely does. There's lots of research. They've done it on mice. They show that there's...
On mice?
They've done it on mice, and that's how we start all of that. But this is the problem, is when it comes to things like cancer, it takes years for them to be exposed. We have not had that time to carefully evaluate it. And let me say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on us. And what we're worried about as medical professionals and as people who do look out for the interest is how it'll affect people down the road. And our biggest concern, adults can make their decisions. They can have the facts. They can do that. But they can't endanger others in terms of the secondhand smoke.
There is no secondhand smoke.
There is absolutely.
There is none. There's no smoke. It's a vapor. Number one. And also this idea that you don't know. Once you find out it's safe, are you going to decide, could come out and apologize and say it was a mistake?
I will be the first one, but I doubt I will be doing that. And this is my concern, is that children, teenagers in Hawaii.
It's the kids.
It is the kids. It is absolutely about the kids.
Well,
We have to protect them.
There is research that shows that that kids are using vaping devices, but it's replacing tobacco. They're not seeing vaping go up and tobacco go up. They're seeing vaping go up and tobacco go down. Tell me you can't see that, but that is a benefit, that you're getting them off cigarettes and on vaping. And by the way, vaping is easier to get off than cigarettes. So you're getting them from something highly addictive to something less addictive to an opportunity to completely quit, which has happened to me.
Well, I disagree with you on many levels, but let me just say, in Hawaii, they just raised the smoking age to 21 because 9th graders and 10th graders, we're talking about 13, 14, and 15-year-olds, 29% have used electronic cigarettes and 19% use them regularly. Nicotine does affect growing brains. We cannot sit there and let our kids do this.
So does caffeine.
And it may be a gateway. It may also be a gateway drug.
I always know I'm winning an argument when you use the gateway argument. Everything's always a gateway.
Well, the studies have shown.
No, actually, cigarettes are a gateway to vaping, and then vaping is a gateway to not smoking at all because they lower the concentrations of nicotine.
They actually don't. The amount of nicotine that's delivered to what they say is the target is many times more than what it is. And
at the beginning, and then they decrease it.
Possibly. But are you an e-cigarette smoker?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and how long have you been on?
Let's see. I would say 18 months.
18 months. So, but the goal was to bridge from smoking to this to nothing.
Yeah.
You're 18 months out.
Yeah, and I smoke maybe one e-cig a week.
Okay.
And when I smoke it, I actually enjoy it knowing that it's dramatically healthier. Like, your metaphor, like jumping off a building, doesn't make any sense because you're actually, if you wanted somebody who smokes a pack a day to do an e-cig, of course you'd want them to do it because there's no tobacco. Well, and nicotine, compared to the tar, is nothing in terms of harm.
Well, formaldehyde is something. Formaldehyde
Yes,
is used to preserve dead bodies.
And, well,
antifreeze.
that's a fear tactic. Formaldehyde is used in a lot of things, Yes. And it's used in a tiny, minuscule amount. By the way, I agree with you. There should be regulation, but there should be regulation perhaps about age and maybe about packaging so people can't open it.
Well, there was an 18-month-old child who drank the nicotine and she passed away.
I read about that. That's why. But that's one thing. And by the way, a lot of people drink cleaning products. That's a problem.
I eat glue.
You do eat glue. Michael, your head's going to explode.
I mean, that has nothing to do with e-cigarettes, the fact that somebody drank this and died. It has to do with bad parenting.
We'll talk later about that.
No, I mean, it has to do with bad parenting. There's a lot of things that kids can drink and die. But would you, as a doctor, if a patient comes to you and says, I have two options here. I'm going to smoke cigarettes or I'm going to smoke e-cigarettes. Would you say to them you should smoke e-cigarettes?
Well, and that's what puts us in a conundrum because we cannot sit there and say, yes, go for it, because we do know that there are dangers for it, and we do not want to sit there.
But it's better for you, is it not?
You can't say better. It might be safer in certain levels.
Well, safer, yeah.
But formaldehyde, antifreeze, nitrosamines, those have been shown to cause cancer. Nicotine is a very addictive thing.
I think the inclination from research is good, but the inclination to treat it like cigarettes is harmful and could cause people to keep smoking. I got to go. Excellent, and thank you for coming and putting up with us, even though you're extremely wrong. Up next, Joe Machi's here to talk maths, extinctions, and other scary stuff. But first, this week in TV history. This week I watched the classic beach volleyball movie, Side Out. Then I watched Castaway, which stars a volleyball. And Meet the Parents, just the water volleyball scene. I also tried to watch Top Gun, but there was too much flying and not enough volleyball. This has been my week in TV history. How much should we fear that the end is near? A new study out of Mexico, a great place, by the way, claims we're in the beginning of a sixth mass extinction of animal species on Earth, and that humans are to blame. The most recent mass extinction happened 65 million years ago and is believed to be the one that killed the dinosaurs, if there really were ever dinosaurs. Here to discuss, comedian Joe Machi. He's also our Scary Stories correspondent. So, Joe, why are humans being blamed? Is it really our fault?
I don't think it really is our fault. I mean, they say that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and ocean and deforestation are causing a number of animals to go extinct. But then they say the bad news, or the good news is that with conservation, we can stave off this mass extinction. But that's not good news. No one ever says, hey, good news, you have to use less.
Yeah, that's true. So given the choice, you'd rather just have the extinction.
I'd rather party up and have some fun here.
Yeah, and I'm tired of them saying it's always our fault. Maybe if animals got with the program, maybe they would survive. I mean, they haven't invented a single thing, Joe. Not a single thing, these animals.
Well, it's always useless animals that go extinct anyways.
That's true.
Look, you know, we got plenty of cows and chickens. You know, maybe it's their fault for being delicious.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, the ones that we eat actually will be around here forever, like pigs. Pigs have no problems. But if you don't taste good, you're gone.
Yeah, and I don't understand why people are so worried about extinctions these days anyway. We've got their DNA. Heck, we're trying to bring back dodo birds, and I'll be the first one to say I'll have one of those dodo burgers.
Yes, you will. And it'll be on a dating website. All right, next story.
It won't be on a dating website.
No, of course it won't. Australian women, they have them there, spent 4 days in the hospital after her skinny jeans cut off the blood supply to her calves, caused her to collapse. Medical staff were forced to cut the jeans off her because they couldn't remove them any other way. I've been there. Joe, will this serve as a warning to the world about the dangers of skinny jeans?
Well, Greg, if cool teenagers have taught me anything, it's that warnings on cigarettes don't work. So I'm not sure that any warning about jeans is going to help.
No. Are skinny jeans, are they good or bad? I mean, you're scared of everything. Do skinny jeans frighten you?
They frighten me, but only because I put on a lot of weight.
Yes.
That's why I don't understand why we're blaming the jeans here.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, you just have to be skinny to wear skinny jeans.
By the way, yeah, it's true. To me, all jeans are skinny because I'm a fat, middle-aged man.
Well, there's just more of us to love, Greg, and I don't think that...
Women don't buy that. Women don't buy that.
I've gotten some nice dad body comments lately, and I think we look good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Greg and
I just find it strange that the entire planet is held hostage by denim. It's like, I don't think there's ever been a time in the history of humankind that everybody wears the same damn thing, and it's jeans. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor, what country. Even in those Islamic countries, those men are wearing jeans.
A lot of sheeple out there, Greg.
A lot of sheeple indeed. A lot of sheeple.
Like, I don't understand why we shame people for sweatpants instead of saying, oh, look, that's a smart person with comfortable pants.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I don't get it either. All right, last story. Shark Week. It began on the Discovery Channel today and will feature 19 hours of shark content over the next 7 days. This is exhilarating for many TV viewers, but I think, Joe, this has got to be your least favorite week of the year.
Second least, Greg, Valentine's Day week is also, it's right up there with Shark Week.
Really?
Sharks and ladies.
Sharks and ladies.
Two things that scare me the most.
They do. What scares you about the ladies first?
Well, where do I begin?
Yes.
Eye contact, physical contact.
All contact.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
this has turned into that's the most action he's had since puberty, and puberty that involved a bedpost. Hey,
this interview is over.
Yeah, yes. Do you even bother turning on the TV during Shark Week, or do you just unplug it and hide under your bed?
Well, I still gotta watch Greg Gutfeld, Red Eye, and Ghost Whisperer, so I still watch TV, but I don't watch no Shark Week. That's for darn sure.
Have you ever considered protesting Shark Week?
Well, yeah, I think the Discovery Channel ought to stick to more important shows like Naked and Afraid that teaches people survival skills and also appeals to perverts.
Yeah, it does. It does. I always say I'm watching it to learn about how to survive when I'm just doing something really awful in the privacy of my own bunker. You know, I hate sharks, but I don't hate them as much as dolphins. I think that the difference, people love dolphins because they smile. They have a fake smile. But dolphins are worse than sharks. Why aren't you scared of dolphins? Is it because they have a nice smile?
Well, dolphins haven't been attacking people in North Carolina.
That's true.
Although I avoid the beach because it's disgusting and there's teenager lifeguards, which is a dumb idea to begin with. I just don't. I mean, dolphins. I mean, they're not smart enough to avoid tuna fish nets, so we're fine. We're fine.
Okay, we're fine. You're not worried about the dolphins. I think you've been brainwashed by years of Flipper. Let's go to our op-ed, Katherine. Do you want to jump in here? Are you frightened by these stories or offended?
Well, I want to talk about my e-cigarette problem. That doctor made me really upset.
Yes.
I never smoked regular Skags in my life, and now I smoke an e-cigarette, or I call them E-Skags, every single day.
And whose fault is that?
These are all the ones I've smoked since Tuesday.
That is insane.
Is that a problem? Because, I mean, I was at my desk, and all of a sudden I felt really depressed and upset, and then I smoked an E-Skag, and then I felt better. It's starting to become a problem. Is this a relatable thing? Has this happened to everybody, or?
Yeah, just you, because you're a very weird person, Katherine. You are easily influenced by external environmental factors. There's nothing wrong with e-cigs, and just be happy that they're not real cigarettes.
Look at me right now. I'm smoking this on the air. My grandma's going to see it, okay? I'm exposing everyone in my chromium, all right?
Yes,
I made my apparent chromium and whatever formaldehydes. I'm basically embalming everyone, and I don't even care because I'm so addicted. So basically, though, I want to say you're right, because I don't want that doctor to be right, because she's going to be the kind of person to take my Skags away.
That is true. By the way, wasn't 20 years ago chromium supposed to be good for you? Bodybuilders were taking chromium. Now, because it's coming out of an e-cig, chromium is bad for you. Joe, we just stopped talking about you. We got back onto e-cigs.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, she's a loose cannon, Greg. I don't feel safe with her in the building.
No, that's true. That's true. That's why she's in another room. Coming up, the apocalypse, but not yet. First, Joanne and Katherine working together for the first time ever. What could go wrong? Well, how much time do you have? my God. As a millennial, I was thrilled when I read recently that millennials outnumber baby boomers for the first time ever. It's amazing. But many of those millennials are addicted to social media, which is surely frying their precious brains. So I challenged our own Joanne Nosuchinsky and Katherine Timpf to go social media free for a day, and then I told them to film it because I'm clever. They came back with this.
It's gonna be so easy, no social media.
I don't even think I'll notice.
Right? I think it might actually be nice. It could be a nice vacation. Greg, we're totally gonna beat the challenge he posed to us.
He does not give millennials enough credit.
I'm not phased. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with my mind.
I have so many feelings right now.
So I have so many. I need to tell someone about my feelings.
I need to
Who
tell
do I
someone
tell everyone about
my feelings. I have so many feelings. Hashtag emotions.
If you love someone, let him go. If he comes back, he was always yours. Hashtag so true.
I want a donut. Hashtag fatty. Hashtag I haven't been to the gym in a week.
Does anybody know if my ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend looks fat today?
I need a drink. Hashtag bourbon. Hashtag tequila. Hashtag vodka.
I need to describe my cat to you, please. He's gray and black, and he's small, but also kind of big, but he's cute. He does this with his face, and he lays in the sun. No Twitter, no Facebook. How are we supposed to know what's going on?
No idea what's going on in the world.
They spelled my name with a C instead of a K. How are people gonna know what we ate?
They need to know what I ate.
They want to know what you ate.
Let's try. All right. Okay. I made a picture of my lunch. Do you like it? It's a whole grain bread. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that Facebook? Oh, my gosh. Well, you have so many likes. Oh, my gosh. Do you have Instagram?
I need people to like this. Do you like this? Do you like this? I need to know if you like this.
I'm so abstract. Why is no one liking this photo? This is art.
Let's all give her some attention.
Like this. Love me, love me, love me, love me.
Oh, that was easy.
So easy. I can't
So
believe
easy.
he thought that we would have a hard time not being on our phones.
I know, like millennials can't handle it. We can handle anything.
Do it anytime.
Yeah.
That was, that's very depressing because it's true. It's true. People now need attention constantly, Joanne.
Yeah, well, we need validation because we're not getting it from our parents or employers because we don't have jobs.
Yes.
So we need other forms of reassurance that our lives are going okay.
I validate you every day.
Is that validation?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just awkward staring. KT, how did people respond to you out there? Were they uncomfortable around you, or are they the typical tourists who think it's part of a show?
I think it's okay to make people uncomfortable if it results in attention, which is millennial currency, of course. Yeah. Twitter's great for fulfilling all of the social needs that might be lacking in my own personal life in the real world.
Well, that's sad.
It's okay.
No, but it's true. It's sad and true. Liberal panel, are you addicted to social media, and is that a good thing?
It is a good thing, because social media is how I share my emotions. I think you're being too hard on millennials, Greg, which is typical of ancient, white Fox News hosts.
Yes, that's true.
The boomers are the original love me generation. They're the parents of millennials. Boomers are to millennials as Al-Qaeda is to ISIS.
Well, look at it this way. I think that you, as a liberal, would want social media controlled by the government.
That's a great idea.
I figured, yeah.
Can you imagine if only Barack Obama's Twitter was allowed?
Yes.
It'd be wonderful.
It would be amazing.
So uplifting.
It would. He's a great singer, too. All right. Coming up, I talked to Johnny Rotten of the legendary band The Sex Pistols. We have sushi and get drunk. If you leave now, I'll frame you for a series of unsolved murders in the Midwest. So every July 5th, I do the same thing. First, I reorganize my American Girl doll collection by hair color. Takes hours. But also, I sit down and have sushi with Johnny Rotten. This year, the legendary Sex Pistols frontman and I talked about life, music, and his new book, Anger is an Energy, My Life Uncensored. Roll tape, tape rollers. What was surprising about this book is I didn't know anything about you. I knew that I was terrified at the age of 14 of you growing up in Northern California.
Yeah.
And the Sex Pistols at that 77, 78 were the most frightening thing on the planet.
The thing is, everybody assumed I just instantaneously was invented.
Yes.
But if you read the book properly, you see that, I mean, I developed my character, my personality, my idea of what clothes were for me, the imagery, the hairstyles. I slowly created this in order to find out who I really was myself. And so I came, by the time I joined the Sex Pistols, I was fully loaded and ready and rampant to write songs.
There's a lot of honesty about the fact that you were self-conscious in rehearsals and nervous.
Oh, yeah.
And nervous. But I would argue that if you're not nervous before something, you're probably not that good at it.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. I look forward to that fear and panic and self-doubt before a gig. It's how you get the adrenaline that is necessary for the performance.
When you first heard your voice, as it was on the album, how was it appreciated by the people that knew you, who had, because like that is.
When I first heard my voice on monitors, I recorded it, I didn't appreciate. So believe me, none of my mates did.
By the way, your story about becoming an American citizen is interesting. Didn't you foil a robbery?
Yeah, I stopped a robbery. How? I was drunk on a staircase and my leg stuck out, and this robber of the nightclub tripped over me, and the police wanted to give me a accommodation. Oh, no, don't you dare ruin my career.
What is the advice that you give to somebody who is about to do something like that, and you're dealing with, like, the worst part of it is that people are going to hate you? It's immediate rejection.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Embrace the hate.
Yeah.
There's no other way of surviving. And don't run into drugs and alcohol to try and hide from that, because, I mean, if you're born for this as a performer, that will become very clear very quickly and early on to you.
What's your favorite song of all time?
Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye. Why does the sun go on shining? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended, and you said goodbye.
It's time once again for Hard Evidence. That's our soon-to-be Emmy-nominated true crime saga, exploring one of the most incredible cases of all time. It's about a desperate man named Trevor and those unfortunate few who happen to have crossed paths with him. Tonight, how a stolen piece of property and a crucial character flaw led to a break in the case. Here's the fourth installment of our 52-part series.
Trevor could often be found after hours at the local laundromat. As many close friends would later recall, he was obsessed with personal hygiene, frequently washing his underwear up to 6 times a day.
It was his greatest asset, but also his greatest liability.
That's because cops knew exactly where to find him. One night, as Trevor was listening to Huey Lewis in the news on his Walkman, he noticed the flashing lights of a police car pulling into the parking lot. He quickly escaped out the back door, but left an important clue at the scene: a mysterious pair of boxer briefs. But as investigators soon found out, they didn't belong to Trevor.
I look at it, and on the back, on the top part of it, it has a name on it. It's not this guy's name. It turned out he had stolen it from somebody else.
This revelation would blow the case wide open.
Wow, you know, Remi, I'd love to hear more about this, but unfortunately we are out of time. Maybe next time. Special thanks to Remi, Michael Moynihan, Joe Machi, Joanne, Katherine, Dr. Nina Radcliff, a good sport, the evil liberal panel, and of course, Lou Dobbs. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I shall see you next time. I've been at this now for 4 weeks, and it's not working. I'm trying.
This is not you to use so many persons. I'm sorry. Well, let me try in some way to help you here.
All right, here.
Maybe we should get someone else.
Yeah.
I'm making fun of him on this.
I told you it's too tight.
I'm a pro, honestly.